Today I fucked up not picking up her signs. I am Vegas. I am in Vegas for a work conference for 3 days. I met a girl from South Korea in the elevator ride to my room after checking in. I helped her with her bags after I saw her struggle getting them in the elevator to our room. We exchanged WhatsApp contact info and messaged each other throughout the week. She told me she's visiting all the major US cities before she went to South Korea. On the last night, she sends me a sexy picture on WhatsApp telling me I was cute and she was sad I didn't find her attractive. I did not get the vibe she wanted more than friendship from our conversation, but I was wrong. I told her we could meet up downstairs, have a drink and take it from there. She messaged back saying she changed her mind. This isn't the first time I had a girl tell me I missed the signs. Too long did not read. I have a problem picking up girls' signs they want more than friendship. I didn't pick this South Korean's chick signs, in Vegas. Edit 1. There is an age gap of 9 years. She is in her early 20s and I am in my early 30s. We messaged each other on WhatsApp throughout the days, but I was busy attending a work conference while she had stuff already planned most of the day. I also think some of the flirting via WhatsApp was lost in translation. Overall, my fuck up was counting myself out from the start. Let that be a lesson, kids. I also appreciated everyone sharing their stories, corn, and POVs. I remember in HS, a girl drove me home from school. We were sitting in my driveway talking and she just casually mentioned that she shaved her legs and asked if I'd like to see how smooth they were. I touched them and said yeah, pretty smooth. Thanks for the ride and got out. Pretty sure I missed something there. I had a friend playing games with me on a lovesack, which is just a giant beanbag chair basically, and she said, I've always wanted to have sex on this thing. And I said, oh yeah, it's a great time. You should definitely try it. Then I mashed her with a blue shell and fucking won the game and proceeded to make fun of her for being a loser. Lol. Bro went to Sin City to do good deeds, tears of joy. I bet she also told you on the second day, what happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas, and you were like, yeah, I've seen that movie too. If it were not for my wife letting me know, I'd never know other girls were flirting with me. TBH, I don't get the other replies here. What I'm reading from op is that a person gave signals by exchanging phone numbers and texting a bit. She never makes her interest explicit before it was too late. Later says that she's sad that nothing happened and immediately retracts her interest. Sounds borderline manipulative to me. Op, I think you dodged a bullet. Today I fucked up by accidentally spending my emergency fund on what I thought was a great deal. I've been pretty good about saving money lately, had about $800 set aside for emergencies, which felt pretty solid for me. I was scrolling Facebook Marketplace when I saw this amazing deal on a gaming setup. The guy was selling his whole rig plus monitor for $600 and it looked legit in the photos. Long story short, I got way too excited and transferred the money immediately without thinking. Met up with the dude at some parking lot and the second I saw the setup I knew I fucked up. The gaming computer was basically a 10-year-old office PC with a fancy looking case, and the monitor had a huge crack down the middle that somehow wasn't visible in any of his photos. When I asked about returning it, he just shrugged and said, all sales final bro, then drove off. I stood there in that parking lot holding a broken monitor feeling like the biggest idiot on earth. The worst part is that my car started making weird noises literally 3 days later, and now I actually need that emergency money I just blew on electronic garbage. My mechanic wants $400 just to look at it. So yeah, apparently I'm the type of person who throws away months of careful budgeting because I see something shiny on the internet. Learn from my stupidity, people. TL. Doctor thought I am getting a deal for a gaming PC, but I ended up buying a cheap performance LED machine. Wait, you transferred the money before you even laid eyes on the computer? Bro, that's online selling 101. Don't show the cash until you verify it's what it say it is. You sent money in advance of seeing it, but more importantly, you spent your emergency fund on a gaming setup? Yay, you definitely fucked up. Emergency money is not to be touched except in emergencies. A gaming PC is not an emergency. Lol, you should never give the money in advance. I'm surprised you even got a PC at all, tears of joy. There's a lot of scammers out there. Let's say this had worked out perfectly and you got a great gaming PC with a good monitor. And then your car makes weird noises and your mechanic needs $400 that you still don't have. The problem here isn't that you got scammed for a decade-old computer. The mechanic is screwing you too. Most shops charge $100 an hour for labor. Just taking a look, shouldn't cost more than $50. Today I fucked up by going on a trip with my colleagues who all share a common native language, and I don't. Today I fed up by agreeing to go on a weekend trip with a group of colleagues who all share a native language, which I don't speak. At work, we always talk in our common business language and everything runs smoothly. So when they invited me on this trip, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to bond outside the office. The moment the trip started, they immediately switched to their own language. In the car, during meals, sightseeing, the entire time. I barely understood anything. At first, I tried to laugh along and stay engaged, but eventually, I just gave up and started zoning out. Every now and then, one of them would smile at me or translate a joke, but the rest of the time I felt like I was invisible. I kept hoping they'd include me in conversations using our shared language, even just a little. But it didn't really happen. I don't blame them for speaking in what's most comfortable for them, that's fair. But I do blame myself for assuming I'd be part of the group dynamic just like we are at work. Now I'm just stuck on this trip, counting the hours till I can go home, and realizing how much social context changes everything. Too long did not read. Went on a trip with coworkers who all speak the same language, except me. They left me out of most conversations, and now I feel like a background character in my own weekend. What a group of assholes. Your coworkers are fucking dicks. Using language to exclude anyone in the room is rude, let alone a colleague. You did not fuck up. It's rude of your colleagues. My family would visit my namesake in Sweden all the time and we did not speak Swedish and the whole family would speak English always. They never said anything in Swedish unless someone asked how to say something. It's just polite to keep your friends included. I'm sorry. I hope they spend a little more time speaking English. Meanwhile, ask a little to learn their language too. Sounds like you should absolutely blame them. If they wanted to speak a language you don't understand the entire time, they shouldn't have invited you. I'm sorry that happened. Sounds really isolating. In your shoes I'd probably just go do my own thing or make some excuse to head out early as they're not being very inclusive or polite, right? I'd probably tell them that too, like it's fine but don't expect me to sit here left out of every conversation. There's generally nothing wrong with people speaking their native language to one another, but this is unbelievably rude. They invited you to come, only to make sure you couldn't engage or enjoy even a moment of it with them. If this was a group of your friends I'd suggest maybe asking or bringing it up, but considering they're coworkers I can understand preferring not to. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. I hope you take the advice of another commenter and go off on your own adventure. If the others ask why, just be honest. Today I fucked up by throwing out my rubber thingy fleshlight. I was browsing on a shitty online store. We all know the store with low prices and low quality stuff. A few months ago and saw this 3-hole rubber, silicone fleshlight thing and I thought hey that's something I should try. Keep in mind I'm a grown man in my 30s but I've only ever masturbated with my hand or sex or whatever else with women. Never owned a sex toy. Never really crossed my mind because it was always so expensive and I used to think it's cringe to buy a fake pussy. Long story short, I bought it, tried it. It was amazing but then I had some family come for a visit and I was terrified they'd somehow find it so I threw it out a few days before they arrived. They left last week and now I can't reach orgasm with my hands, especially my right hand anymore, and it's so freaking weird. I've been using this same right hand for 30 plus years and now it suddenly doesn't feel good? I managed to use my left hand and ejaculated yesterday but it felt terrible, didn't have the same relief or cessation of horniness that usually comes with ejaculation and now I'm searching online for another fleshlight. Is this how people get addicted to sex toys? Once they do it for you it's hard to go back to the same old righty? I know it's ridiculous but I haven't been this frustrated since early teenage years. TLDR, I tried a fleshlight and now I can't ejaculate while wanking with my hands anymore. Be careful with cheap sex toys. Some are made of a shitty porous material that is very hard, if not impossible, to clean. I love the feel of toys but don't like the cleanup afterwards each time. Also my hand did the job for so long it's its own sensation now. I'm sorry you experience a blockage of some sort. Maybe there's other things from when you used just your hand that you can incorporate while masturbating? To help bring back some familiarity. I bought one from Walmart a few years ago. I was so embarrassed though. Not because I bought one. No, I was embarrassed because I ran into my brother outside and the bags are kinda see-through. I don't think he figured out what it was, but I was terrified. I still have it and I use it occasionally. You're right, it does feel really good but I save that for when I need a really good orgasm. Sorry your hand's not working for you anymore. You should try nutting directly onto your palm and flinging it back onto your face. The excitement might bring you back into the niche of masturbating again. You were on Temu, weren't you? Detox from masturbating for a month, then it will be like a new beginning.